Hey, in the first video, we talked about idols of the heart and how sometimes negative things happen in our lives and they come against that thing that's become too important in our lives, that we've kind of set up a little higher than God, that we worship as idols of our heart. And we have an emotional reaction to those things colliding, and then we act out. But you know what? It's not always the negative things that happen in our life that expose an idol of the heart. We can still have that idol set up in our heart, that thing that's most important to us. And sometimes good things happen and kind of feed that idol. And so that's what we want to talk about in this session is those idols of the heart and how we react when even good things come and kind of encourage that or feed that idol in our heart. And it can be just as destructive. So let's go back and look at the same idols of the heart that we had before. I'm going to put those down there. That's what's most important to me. And just to review them again, for some of us, it's more stuff. It's materialism. I've got to have what I want. And sometimes, like for me, it's my own way, or that issue of control, or getting what things done the way I want them done, or how I look. Maybe it's our physique, or our clothes, or our appearance. It's really important. Being the best, being number one in sports or business or whatever it is, being right all the time. That's important. For some of us. Some it's just pleasure. It's just having fun. It's pleasing me. It's doing whatever feels good to me, whatever I want in the moment, and that's the most important thing to me. And for others, it's what people think of me. It's my reputation. It's how I'm perceived of by others. So we'll start out with those same things that tend to be pretty typical idols in our heart, things that are really important. And instead of looking at negative things that collide and come against them, let's look at some things that can actually feed them. So these are things that happen in my life. And so I'm going to put up a little list here of things that happen. Maybe it's health. Maybe you are just strong and healthy. You got a good report from the doctor. Everything is just going good. You're just proud of the way you feel and look, and that's a good thing for you. And maybe it's words. Maybe somebody said something really nice about you, gotten some praise, you got a great email, boss said something. Maybe there's just kindness. Somebody has given you something or demonstrated some kindness to you, and it just really makes you feel good. Maybe there's some success at work. You got a promotion. You got some recognition. Maybe in sports, there's some big victory. You did something important. You got recognized by the coach, or some event in your life that's drawing some really good things around you and some praise for you. And those are all really great things. But when those happen and they feed one of the idols of your heart, when somebody says something really good about the way that I have led a group and had all the details in order and everything was in under my control and it happened just the way I planned, I like that. It feeds that idol in my heart. When somebody does something really nice, they give you a gift and they gift you something that you've always wanted, and you're really wanting more stuff, and that's a materialistic attitude in you, and you're happy to get that thing. That's feeding that idol. When you have some success at work or on the sports in the sports arena, and you get lots of attention and praise for this great success, and being best, being number one is really important to you, that's just feeding that idol. And it's just making that thing even more important in your life. And so there's going to be some emotional reaction. That's how I feel about that. So when this thing happens and it feeds that idol in my heart, I'm going to have an emotional reaction. I might be very happy. I might be really full of pride. This is a good thing. For some of us, when those things happen, we get a little insecure. Like, oh my goodness, now everybody's looking at me to be in control and being perfect, and and my reputation is at stake, and now I got to do it again. I got to keep doing it. So there is an insecurity in me. Sometimes that insecurity comes because they think I'm better than I really am. And so now I have to try harder to be even better than what they think, right? So sometimes it can be insecure. Sometimes it's just stress. Now I'm kind of being put in that spotlight, and it's just causing some stress in my life. I got to keep doing this. I got to keep it up. Sometimes it's just being afraid of what happens if I can't do this again. And there's some fear, some anxiety. Even though everything is going good, the good things are being said about me. It's exactly what I want. I want people to think about me in a good way. I want to have a good reputation, but now I'm fearful that I'm not going to be able to sustain that. So good things happen, comes against an idol in my heart, and I have an emotional reaction, and then we act out. There's some things we do. So those can be all kinds of different things. For me, if I get some kind words about something I've done and been organized and everything has gone as planned under my control, and it certainly feeds that ego of my own way and I'm right, and I get proud or sometimes even insecure about that. Sometimes what I'll do is take more control. Then I got to realize, no, okay, now I got to control every detail, and I become more assertive and more aggressive, and I want control. Or sometimes when kind words are said against us or said about us, and it feeds that idol of wanting to be the best, and we're feeling proud. Sometimes we brag. We just get a little proud, and our words start talking about us and lifting us up. And you may notice someone really being bragging or celebrating too much. Some people drink or eat or party, and that's their reaction. It's going their way. Everything is good. It's feeding that idol in my heart. I'm happy. I'm proud. I'm going to celebrate really big. And maybe it's too big. Sometimes because of that insecure reaction to all that praise, we work even harder. We're trying even more to keep that up because of that insecurity and stress or fear. Sometimes we put other people down because we've had this success, and I want to make sure that I hold on to it, and because I want people to think of me in a good way, I want my reputation to be good. Sometimes that reaction is to put other people down, to make sure that you can be up in that position that you need to be in. And sometimes you're just irritable. Sometimes all that stuff happening and that out of that insecurity and stress, you're just irritable. And people are saying, I don't understand. Why are you acting like that? When all these good things are happening to you, why are you still acting this way? And really what it comes down to is it's still that idol of the heart. That thing that's become way too important to us, that's been lifted up in us. And we have to break down those idols. We have to desire to destroy those things in our life and to let God again be lifted up in our lives. And we have to break those things down, destroy those idols in our heart and say, God, I don't want that. I don't want to be have the fear of man and always be looking at what people think of me. I don't want to be in control of everything. I don't want it to be my way. I want your will, not mine, be done. God, I don't need more stuff. And I want to resist that temptation to collect and to hoard. And God, I don't need to be the best. You've got to increase and I got to decrease. So it's constantly wrestling with and working to destroy those idols in our heart. Sometimes exposed by negative things in our life and sometimes by positive things. So again, we're calling all of us as believers to look at those things that we've allowed to become more important in our life, those idols of our heart. Looking at how we react gives us a hint about the idols in our heart. Let's take them to God. Let's submit them to Him. Let's ask Him to help us to break down those idols in our heart and put Him in His rightful place. Good or bad. God wants to expose what's in our heart so that He can transform us. That's that sanctification process of being transformed by His glory. Let's serve Him today.